Good evening, peeps. Liesl here again, and tonight I'm delighted to be coming to you with another subscriber request video, a tutorial on how to build a fully electric diddley bow. So enough waffle from me and straight in. Yeah, we did have a request for this video from Martin. Thank you very much, Martin, and an excellent suggestion, may I say. I meant to do this one a while ago actually, but you know, the way these things go, it just took me a little longer than I anticipated. So basically, I thought we need to try and find, as usual, comparable materials, because I wanted to stick as closely to this one as I could, and I'm going to run through absolutely every stage of building this instrument, so you know we've got everything on there and you're ready to go. So I went hunting through all my cigar boxes, and I did find another My Father cigar box, very pretty one. As you can see, there's a lot of detailing on here. Now that's actually the lid of the box, and that is actually the front. But again, I wanted to keep it like this one, which is inverted. You can see that was originally the front of the box. And this decal here, this sticker, was actually on the inside of the lid, and I very carefully removed that, stuck it to the front of the box, and then pressed it flat with a rolling pin just to make sure there were no air bubbles. I'm going to run you through doing that a little bit more on the next video, and how we get these stickers off in one piece. As you can see with this one, I didn't do a bad job. I kind of snagged it a bit there, but basically I got it off in one piece. Using a hairdryer and to warm it up with is the easiest way that I've found. I got that tip from Chicken Bone John on his website. Yeah, and his YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to him, I'd seriously suggest you do, because there's a wealth of information on there. And many other cigar box luthiers I will recommend in future videos. So there you go. But I wanted to keep this one brief, just to give you a sort of very brief overview of how I started the build, and we'll go into a lot more detail in the next video. So basically, this sticker on the front, the judge, this fellow here, was on the inside of the lid, in the middle there. And like I say, I heated that up with a hairdryer and then very carefully pulled it off in one even sweep. Snagged it a little bit, but I think that really adds to the build. And yeah, so basically onto the sound holes. Usual, I used 10mm grommets on this one because I didn't have any 12s left. And as you can see, I just went in with an ordinary, quite chunky 10mm drill bit. And these will just push in with your fingers. Sort of push them in quite firmly. And then later just tap those in with a mallet or a hammer and a piece of wood to stop them getting damaged. And they'll sit there forever and a day. They really will. Like, I've never had these pop out or fall out or anything like that. And I've never needed to glue them. So that's basically how I've done that. And I thought we'll start with that, because it's sort of better for when you're spacing things out, to see where the holes are going to be and all that kind of thing. As well, you know by now you will also need a piece of broom handle. Now I've cut this one to about 33 inches in length. I'm going to go for a scale length on here of 24 inches, because basically I like 24 inch. You know, 12s go into 24, 6s go into 24. It just divides everything up nicely. You get kind of 2 octaves. And I just think basically it's the way it goes. You know, it's the kind of size I like to play around with. So that's what we're going for on this one. Now, as we are going to fit tuning pegs, obviously there's a bit of shape into this. I did do a very basic diddley bow build quite some time ago now, where we just screwed the guitar string basically straight into the neck and adjusted it at the bottom using the floating bridge to get the different kind of tones, notes or whatever. But we're going to fit a peg to this one. So as I've also demonstrated on something, a neck build I think, we've done it the old fashioned way with a handsaw. Just gone in and cut a load of little slots. You can see there. I've left a couple there just so you can really see. And then gone in and just snapped them out with a chisel. I went very lightly over the front with a chisel, although that's actually the back, because the back of the peg's going to screw into there. And did similar on the front, just so that you've got quite a nice flat piece where the pin, wherever that's called, comes out. I think it's called the worm, but I'm not sure. Comes out through the hole at the front. The same again for putting the little grommet in the bottom, which will basically hold the string to the instrument. And yeah, that's about it really for the neck. You can see I've left it rough, but I'm going to file that with a file so we get it all nice and flat. It's had one coat of tea on there, basically, just to sort of bring the grain out a little bit. If you look at this one, actually, it was the same colour as this when I started. So several layers of homemade wood stain later, and a little bit of wax, which I'll go into later. We've got this nice sort of aged look, which I think looks good if you're going to do something like this. It's kind of highly decorative. And that's really it for the neck part as well so far. Like I say, there'll be much more in the next video on that. And finally, the holes to receive the neck. And there we go. Now for these, I used a spade bit. That's 25mm. That's ever so slightly larger than the circumference of this pole, as you can see. We just slot it in the body. You can see that moves around quite a bit. But we're actually going to like wedge that in with a couple of pieces of wood, sort of peg that in place. And it's good for when you're basically getting it straight, seeing where you want it. And I have worked out that if we have it about this sort of length, the bridge will come about here and the nut will be somewhere about here, and that will give us a nice 24-inch scale length on there. Now if you don't have a spade bit or a hole cutter, there is another way you can do this with an ordinary drill bit. And to demonstrate, I've made a mock-up of it on this basically scrap piece of box. So I did go in slightly with the spade bit here, just to give it a nice perfect circle. But you can see what you can do is if you actually take the hole and hold it where you want it, measure that up if you like so it's even at the back, and just draw a circle around the pole. Then you can go in where I've placed these dots with an ordinary drill bit and just drill like a little perforation thing. Once you've done that, you can go in between those, and then that's very fine, like a piece of perforated paper. You can just pop that through, go in with a file, like a semi-round file's best. And that's another way you can make the hole, you know, if you don't have sort of spade bits and that knocking around. I think these are worth picking up if you can. They don't cost a lot. They're only sort of $3 or $4, I think. You can get them on Amazon, or you can use a hole cutter. They're pretty good. These can sort of snag the back of the box a little bit, as we have done here. But again, that's not a problem, because we can fill that with a little bit of wood glue and carpenter's fairy dust, and that'll be all nice and neat there. We're going to pack the box anyway, and I will put corners in this one, which I'll show you on the next video, just to give it a bit of strength, and because it has got fairly thin walls on there. So really that's about it for this stage of the build. The very beginnings of the diddley bow. As I say, I will run through with you in a lot more detail on the next video. Thank you ever so much, Martin, for such a wonderful suggestion on this, and I was really keen to start this, so I did this afternoon. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. So I hope you like that, peeps, anyway. And whatever you're doing, as always, stay safe, do stay blessed, and most of all, keep Keep building. Bye for now.